What would you say are some of the most loved or most beneficial features from an agency perspective?
What our agencies love about this platform is that it gives them access to companies that they wouldn't otherwise be able to work with. It gives them an efficient way of getting into those companies to start working. And it takes care of all of the admin and the payments and the administrative side of things that they don't really want to do anyway. So we will bring a new opportunity to our agency. We will put them in front of that client in a matter of days. And a successful agency will work on that project, and then we will pay them one day after receiving their invoice. So we really believe in helping them with their working capital for growth, and therefore we pay them very quickly, and it makes sure that that agency can reinvest the cash that they've earned in growing and scaling their business.
I think the other thing is, it's a much fairer process. We're not going to be asking the agencies to do huge pitches and share all their great ideas up front and essentially put in a huge investment of time and energy and creativity that they end up not being able to see any benefit on. So it's a much more fair, transparent, rapid bidding process. And at the end of the day, we should and will be able to give them access through procurement to go get those contracts. Whereas today, being smaller, independent, it can be really tricky. And I think that's what we're hoping to be able to open up.
Yeah, at the heart of it, what we're trying to do is create a level playing field for independent founded agencies. So we connect them through technology to clients that actually really value independent agencies, want to work with them. We provide them opportunities. We also support their cash flow, because we know that it kills agencies when they're having to wait to get paid 30 days, 45, 60 days, so we pay them early. And we're trying to build a community, yeah? So we share knowledge, we run events, we hang out together. We're a community at the heart of it.
The agencies on our platform love the way that we help them to build their profile and to access and get into new clients and new types of opportunities that they might not have otherwise.
So I think what's really important is that we give access to corporates and briefs that smaller agencies might not actually see. So it's very hard for a smaller agency to even be aware of the briefs, and if they are aware of the briefs, to really compete on a level playing field with some of the bigger companies that are out there. So this really opens it up. I think what we're hoping is we are able to provide that brief flow and visibility to the agency so they can see it and they can compete for it. And they'll be able to pick what are the ones that are right for them to go for and where their skill set lies. But then, I think they'll be able to really compete with some of the bigger agencies and show what their specialized skill sets are.
We want to help them to scale their businesses. So what we're all about is helping the independent agency leader to find all sorts of ways to grow and scale their business while focusing on what they love, which is the work. It's the challenge. The creative challenge is what they really love doing. And it's not necessarily the sales or the admin or the commercial part of running their business.
What is it about independent agencies that inspire you?
I just love the pioneering spirit of independent agencies. I think that's what makes them so interesting to get to know and to work with. All our independent agencies are founder-led. They've all got a different view on what creativity they're bringing to the market. Some of them are very technology savvy and use technology to help them solve problems. Some are very craft-led and very much into their craft. So I just love that, as I say, that whole trailblazing, pioneering spirit that they represent. And really, if you think about creativity, as soon as you try and put it in a box, it will try and escape. And I like the idea that these founders have discovered new ways to shake up the industry.
I think it's because it matters to them. Anybody that has had the experience of running their own business knows how important winning work is, delivering craft, finding and keeping hold of your very best talent. Because when you are running an independent business, be it an agency or any type of small business, yeah, it matters because when you win work, you're creating new jobs for your people. You're paying their mortgages. Yeah, yeah. And I often find that independent founded agencies always at the heart of them have the craft is there. They're not loaded with loads and loads of account managers. You know, they understand the importance of treating their people well because they have to. They take real pride in what they do. So yeah, probably those reasons.
So, I love the speed with which an independent agency will work. I love being able to cut to the chase. When I was a client, I would almost always just work with independents. And it was because you would connect in with the people who are very passionate about your problem, who are creative themselves. And you get right into the nub of the challenge. And how do you fix it? And how do you, what does a great solution look like? I hate it and get incredibly frustrated when I get caught up in the project management with the process of it all. And I think that's what's amazing about independent agencies is they are more agile, they're more entrepreneurial, they're more driven, and I think they're more creative as well. So I think it's the best of all worlds.
So I absolutely love working with the independent specialist agencies. They're often founder-led. So you've got someone here who's found an opportunity. It's usually in their area of specialism or expertise in terms of the craft to begin with. So these are genuine leaders in their fields. They're bold enough to create their own businesses and therefore have the belief in their own ability, but they're also humble enough to know that they need to surround themselves with some fantastic talent within their own teams to complement their own skills to actually grow a business rather than just be a solo kind of freelance specialist. So it's the pace, it's the variety, it's the energy that you get from working with independent agencies and their leaders that really inspires me.
And then there's this concept of pioneering that we keep touching on. What does being pioneering mean to you?
That's a great question. I think there are fundamentally two different types of people throughout history. I think you have pioneers and I think you have settlers. And I think it was the pioneers who were always the ones who, effectively got in their canoes. They always went upriver. They always took on board the challenges of that exploration, whether it be running out of food or running into other dangers on the way. They kept pushing forwards because they always believed there was something better around the corner to be discovered or to be created. And then having created it and discovered it and found it and shaped it and nurtured it, others could move in. The settlers could move in and benefit from their pioneering activities. And I think that's what creativity is. It's a pioneering force for the world. And it's at the tips of that force, the ends of it, where you find the real pioneering talent. And often, it lies undiscovered. And what we want to do is really put them center stage and present them to the world.
Be a pioneer and do things differently, for me, is really all about confidence. Confidence to do new and better things that haven't been done before, standing out from the rest and having the conviction to take a different path so that others can follow.
I think so. For me, I think the best pioneers I've met, and we've got many of them as part of our community in StudioSpace, is at the heart of it, they often start at the fringe, but they're not happy to stay there. They bring new insights, new technology, new IP, new ways of working, and they bring it into the mainstream. That's, for me, a true pioneer. They discover new lands, but they're not happy just to settle there and keep it to themselves. They actually want to bring it into the mainstream.
So for me in business, what does pioneer mean? It's not maverick. It's not massive risk and a zero-sum game of winning and losing. I think there's room for pioneering activity in all forms of business at the moment. I think it's a spirit of entrepreneurship, of creativity that comes from a pioneering attitude. And I think it's the willingness to experiment and the confidence to try something, even if you don't get it right the first or the second or even the 10th time, but the willingness to keep going at addressing a problem that you think is worth doing. I think the spirit of the pioneer is also something that people warm to. And you think about how to attract the best talent to your business. Rather than joining a business that feels as though it's kind of been there and done that, you want to join something which is new, it's challenging, it's going to be a different role or opportunity, every day when you come to work. So I think pioneering businesses really are going to define the next decade. They're going to be the ones that experiment, try, and then introduce new services that, genuine problem-solving businesses that find a better way of doing things than the status quo. And I'd put StudioWorks in there as well. I think our business is pioneering in the area of marketing services, consultancy, and the whole agency market. We want to be the pioneers in the agency world where we're providing a genuine alternative to a big four consultancy group or a major network or agency holding company.